how are you gonna keep sort of some of the stuff that happened there, and what are you changing in like your whole life? Like, was there stuff that you learned? Like, obviously, you did a lot of reading, and obviously, had a lot of time to think. Like, what has changed for you to now be like laser focused and take the next step and doing things right?
Knowing myself has definitely helped, and jail is awful. However, there are very few points in any adult's life where you can have 4 years where you're not allowed to work, right? And there's very few people in their mid 20s to mid 50s in those prime working years where you're forced to sit on the sideline for that long. And there is a lot of benefit in that self like reflection. So it's really learning what you're good at and what you're bad at. And then also it's realizing that like you need help and you can't do it alone. And I think the biggest difference between now and before, beyond what I hope is like some sort of personal maturation and growth, is the type of people that I am working really hard to build a life and a business with. And it's finding people who are able to remind me of the areas where I'm absolute dog shit and to step in and like really help and make sure those are handled properly.
That makes sense. That makes sense. Um, what what did you spend most of your time doing while in jail? And did it because it's like from my perspective, it's like the closest thing to being in a coma that's not a coma. Like what changed that you weren't aware of from when you went in and when I know you talked about AI and how when you came out there are new ways to capitalize on that. For some of the new businesses that you're building. But was there anything else like in the world? Like, I don't know if you're a sports fan or anything, but like, oh, this team won. Like, were there any areas where you were disconnected that was a surprise to you?
So one thing, just like real quick that you said, which is really smart, like about the coma line. There was a guy in jail who told me one time that this is the closest to being in a grave without actually being dead. And that rang so emotionally true. And I think it's just pretty similar to what you said. So, really astute of you to come up with that. Um, the New York Jets still suck. And like, I'm a huge fan. So that didn't
Well,
change
you
much.
guys, you guys just, well, I don't know if it's done yet,
Oh, yeah.
but
We will, and whatever.
yeah, yeah.
And next few weeks, hopefully, it'll be
Won't
official.
won't jinx
We'll have
that.
to.
Yeah.
So yeah, we'll see. So we got newspapers in jail, and at some points there was TV. So there's like daytime, news television. I think like the political polarization is definitely a little bit different, and missed a lot of like the social movements that came as a result of the political polarization. I think the whole like woke culture definitely took on a life of its own like over the past 5 to 6 years and missed a lot of that. And prison just inherently is very behind socially. So it's kind of like weird going from a system that seems like it was stuck in the 1960s to now like super woke Manhattan of 2022 or 2023. So yeah, definitely a little bit weird like going between those two different universes.